So today we're going to make some bacon. I've never done this before, but it looks easy enough. I purchased a 8-pound pork belly, $2.99 a pound. Bacon here goes for probably $5.99 a pound, I think. So it's actually a bit of a cost savings, but more importantly, this is going to be cured naturally. There'll be no nitrates in it. It's going to be a lot healthier. I'll end up smoking this. But what I've done is I've taken the pork belly and cut it in half. I've got two 4-pound slabs of pork here, and I'm going to do 2 different recipes and see which one I like better, as I've never had either of these before. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and readjust the camera so that you can see what I'm actually doing down here, and we'll get started. Alright, so I've got these rubber gloves on. Not really necessary, but one of these 2 recipes requires some molasses to be rubbed into the meat, and I would rather do that with gloves than get myself all sticky. So the first one we're going to do is a very simple, basic cure. This is 1 cup of brown sugar. I prefer to use dark brown sugar, but light brown sugar is all I had. And 1 cup of kosher salt. You want to use the kosher salt because it's a larger, coarser salt, and it's not going to soak into your meat quite so much. So when you're done with this, you won't have quite as salty. If you were to use a table salt or a finely coarse or a finely crushed any other kind of salt, pink Himalayan sea salt, whatever you're using, the finer it is, the more it's going to soak into the meat, and the saltier your finished product's going to be. So I've got these in a bowl. This is again 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of kosher salt. I'm just going to go ahead and mix this up by hand first. Mix this up really easy. So I've got a container here. You can use anything, any kind of pan, cookie sheet, whatever. A little lump of brown sugar there. So I'm just going to sprinkle this in, give a good coating to the bottom. I'm going to take my first piece of meat, and this is the fat side. This is the meatier side. This side is on the outside of the pig. The skin would be here, but this is skinless. And you're probably used to seeing something a little more like this. So that's your bacon. So I'm just going to go ahead and press this down in here really good and get it really coated. I want to get this really worked down into the meat, give it a nice good coating. What this is going to do is start to pull all the liquid out of the meat for the curing process. We're going to put this into a bag, into the refrigerator, and we're going to turn it once a day. And as we do that, as the days go by, you should see more and more fluid being collected in the bag, which is a good thing. That's where all your bacteria likes to live and grow, is in that fluid. And if we can remove it from the meat, that is the process of curing. I'm going to go ahead and work some of this up into the sides here. Okay. That's pretty good, and that's all we're going to do. That is a very basic cure. I'm going to... I got these bags at Walmart. They are 2-gallon freezer bags. Put my meat down in here. Put just a little bit more of this cure in here for good measure. managed to get a piece of garlic in here. Take that out. Work on getting some of this air out of here as well. Air is the enemy of everything. All right. So I'm going to place that in the refrigerator. I'm going to let it sit like this every 24 hours. I'm going to give it one flip. I'm going to do that for anywhere from 5 to 7 days. And then we're going to smoke it. So moving on to my second recipe. Another piece of meat here. This one consists of 2/3 cup, again kosher salt, don't use table salt or iodized salt. Half a cup of sugar, half a cup of brown sugar. It's got a couple other ingredients as well, but those are the dry ingredients, which I'll go ahead and mix up here in my bowl like I did with the last one. So this is very similar, uses slightly less salt, same amount of sugar, but it's a combination of white sugar and brown sugar. And again, the purpose here is just seeing what I prefer. I've never had either of these. I don't know what I'm going to like better. So what you're going to do here is take a tablespoon of molasses. I've got some blackstrap molasses here from our local Amish store. I'm going to put 1 tablespoon on each side of the meat. I'm going to work that in with my hands. This is the real reason I'm wearing gloves. Oh, that smells delicious. So while we were getting ready to do this video, we cut off some of the end of one of these bellies into cubes and fried it up on the stove. That was delicious. It's not cured, so it wasn't salty at all. It had the consistency of bacon, but it didn't have that flavor of bacon. The flavor was much more reminiscent of pork rinds or chicharrones or crackling. Call it different things in different places. It was delicious though. I'm going to go ahead and put a tablespoon of the blackstrap molasses on this side. And then what I'm going to do is I have 2 tablespoons of coarsely cracked black pepper. I used a combination of 5 different peppers in this blend. I can see green, white, black, brown, red. I don't know what they all are, but it's a nice little medley of pepper. So I've got 2 tablespoons cracked in here. I'm going to put half of this on this side. Work that into the meat. That smells really good too. Okay, now I'm just going to work in this cure. Work that up on the edges like I did the last one. we're gonna go ahead and put that in a bag like we did the last one. I've labeled this bag molasses just so I can tell the difference. Should be able to see the difference, but just in case. So again, each of these are gonna be 4 pounds worth of bacon. I'm gonna throw a little extra of this, sprinkle it on top here, just make sure we have a good amount there. Get rid of these. You can actually see a difference between the two here. Molasses really makes a big change to the color. Go ahead and place both of these in the refrigerator. So that was it, pretty simple. What we're gonna do is have these in the refrigerator. I'm gonna flip them every 24 hours. I'm gonna do that for, well, I'm supposed to do that for 5 to 7 days. Today is Monday. Probably going to smoke them next Sunday. So it'll be 5.5 days. Hopefully that's enough. And I will see you then. All right, so we're back here with the bacon. It's been 5 days. You can see just how much fluid has come out of the meat here. That was the plain, and this one is the one that had the blackstrap molasses. Looks pretty good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get these out of the bags, and we're going to wash them off in the sink in cold water. You want to make sure that you get all of that extra cure off of there, or it's going to be very salty and you're not going to want to eat it. I'm just going to run this under very cold water. Give it a good rub, make sure everything's off. Bring this up here so you can get a good look at the cross section. It looks like pretty good bacon to me. That's my daughter. She's here this weekend helping out. Now we'll go for the molasses one. That smells really good. I'm still going to rub this down really well. I want to get that extra salt out of here, but it is going to leave behind a little bit of salt and some of this pepper, which is what we want. You want that flavor. As you can see on this one here, you still got a bit of pepper on here. That's the fat side, meat side. But that's some good looking bacon. I've got a couple of bacon hooks here. Got these on Amazon. I want to make sure that I'm getting through a good portion of meat when I put this on. Otherwise, it will just pull through if you get a side that's mostly fat. Like so. Now we need to let these dry before we get them smoking. Generally speaking, you could hang these on a kitchen cabinet knob, put a tray underneath to catch any water that drips off. I'm not going to do that because my cabinets don't have any knobs. So it's a nice day outside, it's not too warm. I'm going to go hang these in the smoker without turning the smoker on. I'm going to let them hang for probably 2 hours before I start to smoke them. You want a pellicle to start to form on the outside. It'll get very sticky to the touch, and that's when you're ready to start adding your smoke. Alright, so I've got the bacon hanging in the smoker here. Just hung it off top rack, took the other racks out. Just got this dish sitting under here collecting any moisture that drips off of these over the next 2 hours or so. and then I will come back out and start smoking. All right, so we're out here getting ready to smoke the bacon. This is my daughter Megan.
Hello.
And let me give you a look at what we're doing here. So this is my smoker. This is a master-built propane gas smoker. Picked this up used off the internet for 50 bucks. And I've added this down here, which is a master-built slow smoker, because I want to cold smoke this bacon. I don't want it to have too much heat. And it's difficult to control the heat with the propane burner here. I mean, you do have settings, you can pull the heat down fairly low, but I'm still worried about it being too warm. So I'm going to cold smoke it here, and then I'll add some heat at the end just to bring the meat up to about 180 degrees on the inside before I pull it off the smoker. So the way this slow smoker works, it's electric. And it's got a tube inside of it here that you fill with wood pellets. I'm doing hickory smoke for the bacon today. It's got a little clean out tray for ash. Some ash in there from yesterday. I burnt 3 hours, and that's all the ash that was produced. Did that just to season it. And what I've done here is, this isn't built to go on this smoker, but I took a 3-inch hole saw and I cut a hole in the side of my smoker. And I can easily throw a plate over that when I want to use the smoker as a regular smoker, if I want to. I'm going to pass the camera off to my daughter before I destroy everything. And it just goes right inside that 3-inch hole. Alright, so that's how that's working. Let's look inside. The bacon was tacky to the touch. It had a pellicle on it. You can see how well that little smoker is smoking here. It smells delicious.
Yeah.
Bacon's looking really good. I really like the look of the one with the molasses on it. We'll do a taste test with them here at some point in time. We're going to go ahead and close this up and let this continue to smoke. You want to smoke these. You want to smoke these anywhere between 2 and 4 hours. We're going to do this probably for 3 hours. We'll check on it, but I'm guessing about 3 hours, see where that ends up putting us. We haven't done this before, so in the future we'll adjust up or down depending on what we think, and we'll do a taste test here and let you guys know what we come up with.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll be back.
Yep.
Alright, so the bacon's been in for 3 hours. Let's take a look.
Oh, that looks good.
Bathroom, we have one here, we have one downstairs. I'm supposed to go outside.
Tank likes it.
That's hilarious.
Tank, do you like bacon? Oh, if you sit, you're gonna get bacon?
That's where I was told to go.
Nobody's gonna give you bacon if you sit.
I listened to the...
You need to do a better trick. Do a backflip. I'll give you bacon if you do a backflip. Alright, well, that's what we've got. We will take this now. I'm going to turn the smoke off. We're going to let this rest out here. As we're in winter temperatures, I'm going to let this rest out here for the next, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours. I'll then move it into the refrigerator. I'll let it chill in the refrigerator for 3 or 4 days. And then I'm going to slice it up. That's it. Thanks. Just in case it's too much. Kind of hard to believe it's too much. Ever.
Just like everybody tells you the smoked amount of barley that you put in your beer is stupid.
I'm Andy.
I'm Tia.
Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to subscribe.
And hit the bell icon to subscribe so that you get notifications when we post new videos.
And don't forget the thumbs up.
Thanks.
Thank you.